were always hiding in the cover till I talked to my daddy. He say you ain't said nothing till you're down on a month, and then you're sure to be a change in your ways. I met a cheerleader, was a real young glitter, all the times I can reminisce. All the best thing loving with a sister and a cousin only started with a little kiss like this. Swinging with the boys in the school with your feet flying up in the air, singing hey diddle diddle with the kitty in the middle. You'd be swinging like you didn't care. So I took a big chance at the high school dance with a missy who was ready to play. Wasn't being she was fooling cause she knew what she was doing, that I know love was here to stay. She told me to walk this way, 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 walk this way. Just give me a kiss. Like this.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing?
We're here.
Yeah.
Survived another week somehow.
Fucking A, right?
Down.
Oh, this is great. Addy Tooney. Well done, sir.
Nice. Good catch, Andy. Good catch.
Toonie went in and took care of that for everybody.
He's like, here's some cherries for your sundae.
Right? Just in case.
That was fantastic.
He's like, I only got a couple more minutes till I come back. And Toonie's like, no.
No.
No, he was on a 3,000 second timeout.
He says,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got him.
I think we all did.
That
I
was
tried to.
fantastic.
Wouldn't let me.
Anyhow, who's out there so far? Well, I know Addy Tooney's in the house because I saw it, so hello, brother
Who's
Addy.
your brother Addy?
Carrie's out there, Dean's out there, Wombatsky. Ooh, there's a Larry out there. Jerry's out there, Hobag. Matt Millen's in the house. Skinny Hippo. What's happening, y'all? How's everybody? Hope you all are having a fantastic fucking week so far. Oh, look,
I
there's a
made
meter in the chat, too.
something.
And a
How
Greg.
did it turn out, Carrie?
What'd you make?
She made a tea.
No, I didn't.
She's been working on a tea for quite a while.
Nice.
This is what I made.
Ooh.
Weird flex, but
Got some nice stripes in it.
one would almost say it's got streaks as opposed to swirls.
Turned out pretty sweet, Lumi.
Yep. I basically only have really light color blues, so I tried doing some experimenting. So this is like a one and only color blue, because I doubt I'm going to be able to mix my inks again to get this color blue again.
Nice little one-off. Nice.
So pretty.
Hey, look at that. Peeps is in the house now. James Posey's out there. Happy hippie. Man, people are starting to stroll in. Huh. So,
My Lord Wrench,
Greg's in the
we
house.
brought to you, good sir.
Now, as today's episode states, this is all about cabin fever. Because I'm sure there's a whole bunch of y'all going through it. Ready to get the hell out. Myself included, because, man, I need the barber something fierce. As does my son. But, you know, it is what it is. Socorro's in the house. What's happening?
What's up, Socorro?
Speaking of Socorro,
Is
where are
Adam
you
working?
keeping Adam? Do you have him in your
Where's
pocket?
the Adam?
I think he was locked up there this morning. I think he should be free this evening.
Oh, all right. Well, when he gets here, he gets here. What's happening, Normie? No, so, cabin fever, topic of the day. What are you guys doing to stay cabin fever friendly? And by that, I mean keeping yourself sane.
I'm an essential worker, so I go out to work and come home, take naps, ride bicycle. I found it pretty amusing today, though. On the way home, There were probably 100 people out standing along the sidewalk in the park, and they've started protesting the lockdown. And the entire premise of the lockdown is that Greg Inslee, the wonderful, those are air quotes for those listening to Take Meters line, the wonderful governor of the state of Washington has locked down all the state parks and all the waterways, and so people are not allowed to fish. This is fishing season in a very rural, very hunting, very fishing, very outdoorsy city. And if there's one way to get people's hackles up, and it was odd enough that I was chatting with someone first thing this morning. I hadn't even thought about it because I'm not a fisherman, and he's like, it's just bullshit, because fishing's a solitary experience, or you take like one other person with you. It's not like you're going to be standing on top of each other. It makes perfect sense, right? You're fishing, you're just out there fishing, having a good time. The weather's beautiful. It'd be a great time to go fishing. Like I don't fish, but I would, if someone said, hey, you want to go fishing this weekend, I would strongly consider it, just because, go sit outside, be outside, hang out with somebody, get away from the house. And that's the entire premise of this protest that was going on. Like I said, it was like 100 people. They were all spaced out there in like little groups of 2 or 3. So they're there with their family. They're spaced out 10, 15 feet between each person. So the cops really couldn't say anything to them. And all they had was signs saying, let us fish. And so cabin fever getting strong because people want some semblance of normalcy during all this. And, the more we're talking to people, the more we're understanding what's going on with the Backstreet Boys reunion, that this isn't something that is going to just up and vanish. Like, this is something that we have to get something figured out, because this is not something that's gonna just vanish overnight and we're never gonna see it again. This is something that's gonna rear its ugly head over and over and over again. Yeah. So yeah, I totally get it though. I mean, that's what people should do. If your government's doing something you don't agree with, like shutting down the waterway so you can go do something that should be allowed. Quite frankly, during this, you should be allowed to go fish.
Well, and you make a good point there. There was just this morning, on one of the multiple daily circuits of news releases that the government has been doing lately. Today's topic, I'm using air quotes for those who are just listening, of expertise was the second coming of this, as it were. And now they're starting to say, due to multiple different studies from multiple different groups of experts across the globe, that much like a John Jones drug test, there's going to be a pulsing effect with this Backstreet Boys, where we're going to see it wane and then come back and wane and come back multiple times now. Like, they're not thinking we're going to deal with it, break the curve and then we're clear. Like, this is going to become an echoing thing. We're going to have to adjust to this becoming some sense of the new normal. So it's going to take a little adjusting, but we've been through worse and we can survive.
True. But yeah, I mean, that's you get your flu shot, you get your Backstreet shot.
Yep.
Yeah. God, please don't come up with something all that quickly. Don't let this thing mutate into something harder.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But I digress. NFL draft is tomorrow. Woo!
Fuck!
Fun time.
Foosball!
It's gonna be so awesome.
I have no liquor at my
No,
desk.
it's not
Shut your
foosball,
mouth.
Louis. It's the Flavora draft. They're just picking new flavors. That's all you have to think about. Just water boy your way through it. Every time they say a name, just picture a little bottle with like an orange top and then a label with stars on the front, and then like see them dancing like foosball sucks. It really, really sucks. Like, you could do your own thing. You'll be okay.
No. No liquor at my house yet.
I'm just saying that's some semblance of normalcy, so that's a plus.
There you go.
I have a new hobby because, building braids and making resin stands, DIYing, it's not enough. It's not enough. I make fucking penis-shaped soap now, bitch.
Those are some tiny little soaps.
Hashtag dick soap.
There you go. Who else has popped in here so far? I seen some other people came in here. See my peeps is out there. Big G's in the house.
Erwin's
Pups
here.
out here.
Erwin's showing up.
Erwin's here. Nice. Light Bear. Vega's out there now. Cherokee. Nice. Somebody's slowly rolling in. Alright. Now, the only thing I've been doing to keep myself sane, I have garden bed to fill. Because we built another one last year, so now we have 4 that I have to go get some more dirt for tomorrow. Because, well, you can only put about a ton in the back of your truck before it decides it's had enough, so. And that's only a yard at a time, which really sucks. And when you need like 3.5 yards. But it is what it is.
Lumi and nerd can attest. I've been playing entirely too much Call of Duty.
That booty's been calling to you, Larry.
Dude, he's already maxed out his battle pass. To give you some
No, it's almost there.
To give you some idea of what's going on, Rin and myself, I am level like 52-ish or something like that. Rin is still level 30. Meanwhile, Larry is like in the almost 100s. He's like
I'm
98.
working on 96.
He's 96 because he's got no fucking life. Poor Larry.
You know what that sounds like? Sounds like somebody's jealous.
A little bit of jealousy, but holy shit, the amount of time that you put into that game, I would not be jealous. I would be ripping my hair out if I was already that way, that far through. I'd be like,
Green with envy. Green is not a pretty color on you.
fuck you, it's not.
Although,
I wear green and blue very well.
although today I think Lumi can attest, we didn't get the reaction we thought we would get out of Rin today when I pulled out the skin that she really wants.
Yeah, when you hit level 90 on the Call of Duty pass, you get a really hot chick as your character that can play for you. So Rin really wants this hot chick, and Larry already got it.
What'd you get out of her? Fuck you, Larry.
Not even that. I got a really.
Nah. That's a typical Ren reaction. Really? Like, do you like it, Ren? No.
That's right. Happy Hippie is right. Gronk did come out of retirement.
Yeah, I went to
Tampa.
Yep.
I'm gonna shit on every
I'm
single one of you.
Pretty sure there was a call that was made, even though he'll deny it. I need some help down here, quick.
Did you see the video that Brady pulled out?
No.
He's standing in the back. He's standing in somewhere in his backyard, and he's got like a shell, and he starts blowing on the shell. All of a sudden, you see like the geese take off out of the woods and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden, here comes Gronk pounding through the woods. It's like, sorry it took me so long. Reporting in, sir.
I prefer the meme that I shared in our I Am No Joe group.
Is that where I saw that?
Yeah.
It was fucking fantastic.
Gronk held a press release. Tom Brady called me and said if I didn't come out of retirement, he was going to kiss me like he does his kids.
I saw another one that said that's because there's over 200 strip clubs in Florida, but there's only like 20 in the Boston area.
That's awesome.
I wonder how much strip clubbing old Gronk does these days, because he's been dating like one of the hottest women on the planet for God knows how long, like 3-4 years at this point. She might have him on lockdown.
It's
Of course,
Gronk.
there may be no containing the Gronk. So it may just be part of the life that she accepts. Maybe she really likes strip clubs.
I seen one today in my feed that Tom Brady got asked to leave the park that he's not supposed to be in
Mm-hmm.
because he was looking for a place to work out.
Yep, he was out throwing balls in the park. Didn't they cite him too? Someone's getting fired. Someone's getting fired over that shit.
Yeah.
Like, did you give a ticket to Tom fucking Brady?
Yeah, Richie Martinez got a ticket for doing jiu-jitsu in a park last week. Tom Brady got a ticket this week for playing like catch essentially in a park this week. It's crazy times, man. Like they're not fucking around with us.
You want to play catch? Go to your facility.
Stay in your facility or stay in your fucking yard. Like nobody can yell at you for playing catch in your fucking yard.
Like Tom Brady has a full-size NFL field
Yeah, have you seen the house
on
he's
whatever
living in?
piece of property
And
he's living in.
It's one of Prince's old mansions.
Is that where he's living these
He and
days?
Giselle live in one of Prince's old mansions. It's a
He's totally got a full-size
$7 million, like 9 square acre mansion. They were doing a thing on it yesterday. It's about how he's so
In Minnesota?
his quarantine life.
He's living in Minnesota these days?
No, not where the fuck is it?
Is it down by Tampa?
It's in the Tampa area.
Oh, okay.
Because
It's got a killer basketball court.
Yeah.
Being one of Prince's.
My fucking dick has a killer court. Fuck off!
Did your dick play basketball against Charlie Murphy?
Dick plays everything, dude.
She said, "Who's Charlie Murphy?"
Game blouses.
I was gonna say, does it play shirts or blouses? Skins or blouses?
Game blouses. What did he do after that? Took us inside and made us pancakes.
Pancakes.
Oh, that's fucking great.
It's Prince. That's why.
Are you really gonna say no to Prince?
You don't really have that option at that point.
No,
The fact that the b-ball tournament happened at his house to begin with, like,
Tommy says he rents it from Jeter.
I'm gonna start doing all kinds of inappropriate things on this stream to get your show flagged.
And anybody else been watching the Bulls documentary, The Last Dance?
have not watched it yet. That is on my to-do list, though.
Good. It's really good.
Although I did read an article about a younger generation guy that watched it who wasn't familiar with his actual playing time because he's not old enough to have seen it in the 80s and early to mid 90s when he was playing before he went to baseball and came back and all that. Yeah. He said this brings a whole new perspective to the who's better of Jordan or LeBron, and he's like, I always thought it was LeBron because I'd never seen Jordan. He said this completely skews my perception now. I was like, well, that's good because a lot of those kids don't understand.
people forget he was breaking records as a fucking college player long before he ever thought about going pro. There's a reason, like there was a picture that they were using for the promotion of that documentary yesterday of Jordan's last game in college, and his coach is literally telling him in the photo, go pro. Like, and the caption is the conversation that they were having in that moment. And it was his coach telling him, going pro is better for you, whereas staying here would be better for me. And this is not about what's best for me. Yeah.
Yep, that.
Yeah, we're talking basketball now, Lumi.
Nothing like the good old North Carolina Tar Heels.
Yeah, man.
Well, the thing that nobody, like, if you go back and look at, like, Jordan's college stats, like, it's not like he was an extreme scorer or anything like that. Like, he was incredibly good.
Yeah, he was.
But he wasn't like the way Dean Smith ran that program. There wasn't room for somebody to be like Jordan. Like, everybody knew he was really flipping good.
Yep.
But he was playing within a system. And then once he got to Chicago, like, there's nobody on that fucking team. Nobody in Chicago State.
There wasn't.
All of a sudden, dude, like, breaks out and he's scoring like 26 points a night as a rookie. And they're like, where the hell did this come from? That's like 10 points higher than you averaged in college. And it's just, there was nobody else on that team. And so it was just going and going and going.
That's when.
And then once he started getting those pieces around him, like, then he was able to just unleash on the world.
Yeah, once Chicago figured out how good he was, they basically pulled the New England Patriots and started building the team around him.
Exactly.
Like, watching it and hearing everything that Scottie Pippen kind of went through, like, it's really depressing. And Scottie made a mistake as a young player and signed a really long contract. And the team should have taken care of it, and they never did. And, like, like, everybody thought he was being a selfish player back then. Like, it takes on a completely new view when you hear it from Scottie, you hear it from Michael, you hear it from everybody, that the team should have been taking care of this guy. probably the number 2 or 3 guy in the NBA at the time, and he's getting paid at the 122nd player level.
Yeah, he would
So
get
they basically
screwed.
rented Scottie Pippen on the cheap for 7-8 years. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how long they had him on this contract. And yeah, it was like I said, it was kind of eye-opening. But yeah, like everybody's quoting the great line out of it, and they're like Michael gets hurt and he's chomping at the bit to come back, and he's like there's a 1 in 10 chance that you could end your career with this injury if you go start playing on it. And so the general manager goes up to Michael and he's like, if you had a really bad headache and there were 10 pills in here, 9 of them would cure your headache and 1 would kill you, would you take it? And Michael says, well, how bad was the fucking headache? So
Yep.
It's really, really good. Now, it's only the first 2 parts are out. 3 or 4 come out on Sunday. So it's ridiculous to remember how good everybody on that team was. Like, it was just they were just an incredible team, and just monsters on defense. Like, you forget how good they all were as a unit on defense.
Yeah, they could shut the entire game down on you. Like, they could literally stop the game around you and show you how much control they had over that fucking game.
Yeah,
There's a couple times, like, during the three-peat era where you're just like, dude, they're not letting these guys do anything. Like, they're just playing a game by themselves. This is shadow boxing for these guys. Like,
Yep. And the other thing that people forget is that era, when you look at hell, you can even go back further. You can look at the Magic Johnsons, the Larry Birds, the Jordans, all of them in that same era. They all wanted to win every night. It wasn't we're just playing to get to the playoffs and then we'll play hard like a lot of teams do nowadays.
right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's always the exception to the rule, but for the most part, a lot of those players aren't going 110% like they did then. Because they're worried about injuries and are they going to be able to play in the playoffs. No, they wanted to win every night, and it was basically a win or die type situation for them every night, which made them play way better than a lot of the players nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, but yeah, like I said, if anybody hasn't watched it, it's on the ESPN Plus app for free. If you got ESPN Plus, if you got Hulu and Disney Plus, you should have
Yep.
that too, and it's free. So yeah, I loved it, absolutely loved it.
Tommy V.
Tommy.
Haas is out there too now.
Haas is out there?
Yeah, Haas.
Mikey Haas?
Yeah.
What up, Haas? How you
Sure.
doing, brother?
I see Church popped in. Edward popped in. Well, I thought I saw somebody else pop in out there. If I missed you, I'll catch you eventually. Yeah. Crazy times. Definitely crazy times with that. That was a whole different era of basketball. That was when I actually watched basketball. I don't watch basketball anymore. And I think that's because I watched the change of that. I can't call it the changing of the guards because it wasn't really a changing of the guards. I mean, if you really want to look at changing the guards, I guess you could say it was the Orlando Magic in 96, 97 when you had Shaq and Hardaway and all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That may have been the changing of the guards time. Yeah.
No, I can point at I can point to the moment when basketball changed. It was when they stopped allowing hand checks.
Yeah.
Because that was
Like civil.
yeah. When you were a defender, you would go up and you would hand check. You'd hand check the
Right in
person,
their face,
and
yeah.
basically you're just popping them open palmed in the chest.
Let
as
him
hard
know
as
how
you
far
could.
away from you he can be before he gets cocky.
I remember you playing basketball back in high school. Like, that's what I remember. Like, you just hand check someone. Like,
That's the first thing you do when they fucking post. If they stop dribbling, the first thing you do is get your hand in their fucking face.
yeah, and you would pop them open palmed in the chest, and knock them back a step or two,
Yep.
and then you would get in your defensive stance. And if they start coming at you, you reach out and you hand check them again. When they stopped allowing hand checks in the NBA, that's when shit got soft, and it's a completely different game than it was. I mean, basketball games are more exciting now, I guess you would say,
Right.
because it used to be some slogs back in the day.
There
Like,
did.
if you watch the Knicks play, like it was going to be a fucking slog. Like nobody was scoring over 70 points. So, yeah, but it's definitely different. It's a different style, style, and it's amazing that Jordan did the things that he did with as hard as defense was back during his era. That's another thing that people don't recognize about Michael Jordan is just how soft things have become now. Sure, people can score 36 points a night. People can average a triple-double every night. Michael Jordan was doing that shit when people were punching him in the chest every time he decided to try and drive. So
Yep.
he had to deal with them bad boys, though. He had to deal with them bad boys. I can't wait till that part of the documentary comes up when he starts talking about the Pistons because he fucking hates them. That's my team. I'm a Pistons guy.
Be fun to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Well, that area gave us my favorite basketball game of all time, NBA Jam. So I'm not gonna.
Boom shakalaka.
He's
eating
on
up.
fire. The fucking half-court dunk.
Downtown!
That game was fantastic.
Hell yes, it was.
I can't think of how many quarters I pumped into that game in the arcade.
Oh, who didn't? Who didn't? Yeah, it was an amazing game.
Uh-oh. She heard a lull in the action, so she decided to come back. Quick, pick up
back?
another sports reference.
I mean, we could start talking. Oh, she's gone. I was gonna say we could start talking about the draft, and then we may lose Larry.
I think might lose some people too.
We can start talking about guns. Lumi will talk about guns.
There are a lot of nice weapons out there. So
There are a lot of really nice weapons that have been coming out recently. Good luck getting your hands on any.
I really want a blowgun.
Why do you want a blowgun?
Yes, I do. I
Okay. Fair enough.
That's what I grew up with. Like, my brother had a slingshot. I had a blowgun. What like
Yeah, I. Putt Putt says yes, guns.
I have to get like some poisons to put at the tips of them, so when you guys start talking about foosball, I could just go outside my window and shoot and hope it gets to you guys at some point.
We weren't even talking about the foosball though, Lumi.
Even worse, it was all kinds of sports.
We were talking about one sport and one team in particular.
Nobody cares about the NBA.
That's not true at all, Lumi.
We like guns. We like guns.
I do like guns.
And titties and booze. Titties and booze and guns. Titties and booze and guns. Titties, booze, and guns.
So you're trying to move us all to Texas.
Yes.
All right.
Alright, vape condo is happening in Texas now.
I like Tejas.
I don't. Way too fucking hot.
This is true. I guess as long as it's somewhere near the water. Well, no, I don't want to be near the water either. Hurricanes.
Yeah, you don't want to be near the water. Like,
Never mind.
where's a good place where it's? My dream is to find a place that's like between 65 and 75 year round. And like
Ooh.
that's all it does.
Have you found that yet?
Medellin, Colombia.
We're moving to Colombia.
All the
Great.
coca you can get your hands on.
Make
long as
sure
the
we bring
cartel
all of our
Medellin-
guns.
Medellin is supposedly a very clean city and very modern city.
We have to be careful for that cartel, so we gotta make sure our guns will transfer. to
It is the
Cuba.
hometown. It is the hometown of Pablo Escobar, though. So it does have that going for
Yeah.
To
it.
be
But,
fair,
yeah, they
I
call it the
don't
city of
think-
eternal spring, and it's between 65 and 75 almost year round.
And to be fair there, Lumi, I don't think anybody's going to really care if they legally transfer there.
Well, I'm going to be legal about it.
Oh, yeah. It's all there. I think it's kind of a gray area if you're gonna expat to a country like that.
I mean, the cost of living's pretty low.
I wouldn't expect it to be too high there.
Yeah, I think it's like $500 a month, something like that. So it's higher than somewhere like Thailand or some of the other Central American countries. I think Panama is slightly less than that.
Shit. Fuck, you have
So,
$30,000 in savings. You'll live like a king there for quite a few years.
Yeah.
right? I was about to say, because my whole plan here is if I need to start playing the lotto. But if I ever won the lotto, I'm going to buy a huge plot of land and I'm going to put a bunch of houses on there so all of us vape people could go live in one spot and just hang out all the time. So, bring all that over there.
Where is it? Where's your vape condo going to be though? Like, where have you thought about the area that you're going to put your vape condo up
We're
at?
going to Cuba now.
Why would we want to go to Cuba and get just run over by hurricanes every couple of years?
Yeah.
Because you just said that's the place to ideally go.
Colombia.
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 Colombia. There we go.
Big difference between Colombia and Cuba.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to Colombia. We're good.
I just got a laugh out of Jax about that, by the way. The United States of Lumi.
No, because it's going to be our vape town. Like, it's going to be Fresh, Adam, me, Meter. Well, TJ, would you move your family to a free house in Cuba on a huge plot of land to know that
Cuba?
you're
In
gonna be
Cuba?
a neighbor?
Fuck no.
A huge plot of land in
Colombia?
Cuba.
I'm really just stuck on Colombia or Cuba, dude.
I wouldn't mind expatting off to one of those countries.
Shark. That's right, Church. We're gonna have hashtag sharks with lasers in the moat.
That's right.
I'm gonna have like a little water park going through it, so I could travel down the water slide to each house, and I'll be at the very top, so I can just go.
So none of the rest of us get to use the water park. It's just Lumi's private water park.
Well, no, if you come up to visit me, of course you could take it back down to your house.
But like, if I feel like going and hitting the water slides at like 3 in the morning, it's not gonna be okay.
What do you mean? It's not gonna. I'm going to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning, fresh.
Well, if I feel like going and hitting the water slides at like 2 in the afternoon.
Still okay. You have to catch me right as I'm going to sleep, because if I hear noises
Like at 10?
while I'm trying to fall asleep, I won't be able to fall asleep.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to hit the water slides, like I'm gonna hit the water slides for hours. Lumi.
Go for it. Fuck it. I'll
10 a.m. What's up, Lumi? Woo! You just hear me hit that plastic, and I'm just gone.
It's not gonna be plastic. It's gonna be the lotto, bro. It's gonna be real.
Or not plastic. Yeah, I mean, they've got plastic water slides and they've got fiberglass water slides.
We're gonna go all out on it. That's all I know.
Ooh. 556.
Well, Voca, that would be, or Vega Vapor. Hello, Vega Vapor. That'd be if we were living in like Bogota or something. Like Medellin's up in the mountains in Colombia. Like it's up in just a big valley, and it's actually, the city's actually guarded by the military, so that if some rebellious / drug cartel factions decide that they're going to try and get into the city, like they met with extreme resistance.
And that's debatable. As far as the amount of resistance, but you know.
Yeah.
That whole part of the world's a little bit strange when it comes to that kind of thing, because people can still be bought off. Well, I guess anybody can
it's
be bought off, but, you know.
I mean, Medellin looks like a really, really cool city, and Colombia's come a long way since the drug cartel days. So. Ooh, can we have an EG standing guard with a flamethrower?
Fuck yeah.
That would be
Fire
awesome.
in my moat's gonna get lit.
She's just in the little garbage can, just occasionally popping back down. You just see these big clouds of vape coming out, like the good old days.
Make her a military pillbox that actually looks like an Oscar the Grouch trash can. That way she could just fucking watch through and pop out.
Well, we could always get her the house at the base, and we could always make
She wouldn't. Nah. You would be able to see a Niji palace. It would just be like a whole 7 miles in the woods that way, indiscreetly under a tree.
No, we just build her like a little bunker, but on the door to get into it will be like trash cans and stuff, so she could just pop her head out.
Yeah, she would.
It'd have to be.
Niji, it would have to be private, out in the woods, doing her own thing, away
You
from
have to
everybody
build her-
else. She'll come
yeah, you
over.
have to build her a
She'll come
place
over
to
if she feels like it.
Yeah, you build her a place to hang out and then let her come hang out when she's ready.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Then she could live on the top of the hill at the very huge plot of land, and then we'll all build like 3 acres away from her.
That
Niji
might
is
work.
usually the barn cat that will come and give you attention when she feels like it. Otherwise, leave her be.
Yeah.
And then we'll give her underground tunnels that will bring her to the front of the property, so she doesn't even have to bypass us.
Okay. She'd be coming out of the woods real slow, like, and I'm just like holding my hand out, hoping she's gonna come hang out.
Please,
As soon as she makes eye contact with me, she's back into the woods.
Shit, I forgot the no eye contact rule.
Fucked it up. I fucked it up for everybody.
Son of a-
She was gonna come out and burn some shit to the ground. It was gonna be fucking amazing.
Although you could probably piece of candy her with like stacked sections for mech mods.
Oh, like just leaving like a trail of stack sections.
Yeah, just like a single section at a time, like 15, 20 feet apart on a long line, and then the last one just under a box with a stick holding it up.
Yeah, but I mean, the beauty of Niji is that she will never be caged. Like she would see your trap. She would see your trap, take whatever's in the trap, and then somehow set it off on you, and then she's back into the woods.
Right,
Gone.
right.
The mythical Niji gone again.
We gotta hit the lotto.
You got to start playing.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe.
And that's the part where I'm out. I'm not gonna play the lotto.
Yeah. Who can afford to play the lotto?
You know, winning the lotto is a lot like getting a first-round draft pick.
Mm-hmm. I concur. Would you say
All
that
about
it's like? Would you
probability.
say that it's like the Cincinnati Bengals picking up Joe Burrow?
It's all about probability. Your Niji to non-Niji ratio has got to be equal.
I would totally invite Niji to come live in the vape condos, even if Lumi wasn't okay with it.
I'd leave
Never
it.
know she's there.
on the back of my property for her.
Anybody ever read Patrick Rothfuss's books? Yeah,
Yeah.
she'd be like Ori, like she's living in the underthing.
Yeah.
And on a moonlit night, if you have the proper combination of items and you're playing the right song on a lute, she may
Right.
appear. Otherwise,
For a moment.
It's possible. Not for sure, but possible.
yep. Lotto is tax for stupid people. Well, I mean, I'll go pay $10 if it's over 300 million. Like that's my cutoff. Like it's got to be over 300 million. I'll go.
That's what
I'll go
was
throw
saying.
$10 on it because.
We'll give it a shot.
Oh, if any relatives that I knew, any relatives that showed up that I didn't know I had, they would be shit out of luck. Because I'm an ultra cheapskate. Like I would set up something for my nieces and nephews, and that would probably be about it. I'd be like, my 300 million, turn into $1 billion. When it reaches $1 billion, turn into $2 billion. And that's what I'd be telling my money manager.
I would set my mom up real nice to make sure that she's set, and then I would go off and just disappear. And then I need to adopt a child somewhere along the lines.
Would you adopt a child to ruin all the fun?
Don't do that. That's a terrible idea.
Well, I could adopt a child, which means I could get one that's already like 13 or 14.
The ones that
They're
are
already
13 and 14 that never got adopted have a lot of issues. A lot of issues.
I'll be rich enough that I'll fucking fix them.
You can't fix
It
people with
doesn't
money.
work like that.
Yeah, you can't fix people that don't want to be fixed, Looney.
Well, I will pay for like therapy There we go.
You can't make someone go to therapy that doesn't want to go to therapy. They'll never
Well,
get
then
a
if they
thing
don't
out
want
of
to
it.
go to therapy, then they won't go to therapy.
And how are you gonna fix it?
How they
By
gonna
letting
do
them do what they want and just know that I love them, because that's all you
That's
really
enabling,
need
not
in life.
fixing.
Yeah, you're really
Yeah.
making things worse, Lumi.
Nope.
With that kind
Your,
of,
your hypothetical child is going to be in prison.
if you get to that point where you have to adopt, do not ask me to co-sign on anything, because with that kind of attitude, I can't do it. No.
Love is enough. That's all you need in life. It's just love.
Love is with child rearing. The love is not enough.
It's plenty.
No, because there's this wonderful thing called discipline, and setting rules, boundaries, limitations. There are things that you have to do. You can't just say, "Oh, I love you. Go do whatever the fuck you want." No, because if that happens, your kid eventually ends up in prison.
Well, I would have certain kinds of rules.
Oh,
I wouldn't
all of
be
us would be
like-
sitting around the hypothetical pool, just being like, "Uh-oh, here comes that spoiled little shit again."
I would have set rules.
He wouldn't. He or she would not come near me because I'd be like, "Listen here, you little motherfucker. You're near
Dude,
me.
if
You're
you
not in
take
charge."
somebody that's had a terribly fucked up childhood and you just set down a couple of boundaries, but you just let them know that you're there for them, I feel like that could do wonders. And if they fuck up those boundaries, then they don't get their chance anymore. Boom.
Then you return them like a pair of shoes.
Is that what you're saying? So this one's broken. Take it back.
Yeah. Like I didn't like my stepdad for a long time because he was very discipline oriented, and he wanted everything down the line. He wants things done the right way, and I didn't like him for a long time because he enforced that discipline on me. Now I love the guy for doing it. And yeah, I mean, I think a lot of parents mistake that. Like, you can't be your kid's friend and be a parent most of the time. Like, a lot of parents say, like, I don't like my kid. I love them, but I don't like them a lot of the time.
Right.
Because they're doing stupid shit. And so, when you lay down guidelines and you stick to it, I mean, a lot of times they're going to hate you for it. So, it's called responsible parenting. Instill some values and a good work ethic in a kid, and they'll take on the fucking world these days. Nobody'd be able to stop them if they had a good work ethic compared to their other kids in their age bracket.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's actually
like my nephew, who got raised mostly by my parents. Like, he's a hardworking kid, and like, he works at FedEx, and he's fucking climbing that chain fast. Because he has a work ethic, and the other kids that they have that age, they just go in, works too hard. I'm not doing it. So now we're getting super serious about parenting. Thanks for bringing up the hypothetical child, Bloomy.
God, way to kill the buzz.
But, parenting is a good, an acronym for the NFL draft. Because by drafting a player, that team is taking responsibility.
Oh,
Oh,
sweet babies.
perfect. Perfect.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to keep it together if we keep this up. So, Lumi, what else do you want to talk about that we can somehow relate to the draft?
Where's my package of liquor? Where's
The
my
most
fucking
exciting
package of
thing in the
liquor?
last 2 months is taking place tomorrow, Lumi.
Yeah, and then you got like,
I told you guys it would be super easy to get me to get into this. Just send me some liquor and some goodies, and I'll fucking sit there real happily. No fucks to give. And I got no liquor and I got no goodies.
Because we know that we can kind of twist every topic that you bring up, and then we're going to eventually bring it back around to the fact that Joe Burrow is going number 1 to the Cincinnati Bengals tomorrow.
poor fella. Poor guy.
I mean, it could be worse. He could be going to the Browns.
I don't know that the Browns would take him. I don't know if the Browns would take Joe Burrow if they had the number 1 pick. I think they'd probably take Chase Young.
I'm just
I
saying.
suppose that's neither here nor there.
Worst move in the first round is going to two of the Browns.
If I had to guess who the biggest boneheads are going to be tomorrow, I got to lean towards Miami. They got way too many picks. They're going to do some stupid shit. They're like, here's $5 when you were a kid. Here's $5. Don't spend it all in one place. And you just go and blow it all at the first place that you go to.
No, yeah.
I'm betting on the Lions to screw it up.
The Lions? I mean, if Jeffrey Okudah's there, I don't know who else. Or, I mean, I suppose somebody could slip.
Jesus, is that what the line on JB is right now? $10K for $100?
Yeah. Like they haven't even entertained calls from anybody in months.
Wow.
Like they're taking the hometown boy.
Jesus.
For sure. Gunther, I think you're gonna have to look somewhere else. I don't think you guys have enough draft capital to move up to take CeeDee, unless you're just gonna give everything for CeeDee Lamb, which I don't know that. As a player, I don't know that he's worth it. He's good, but I don't know that he's worth it. It's not like there's a Julio Jones in the draft where you know the dude's gonna be a superstar. So, should we get back to guns?
Okay, I saw somebody asking about guns out there. 9mm 40 Smith & Wesson or 10.
I mean, Lumi, you're a 357 gal, right? Like, what's your preferred caliber of ammo?
Yeah, 5.58. Yeah.
I really like 9mm.
I think most people who mess around with 9 for a minute or two really just kind of situate in on it. Just because it's a handy caliber, it's easy to get, it's cheap.
My favorite gun that I own out of all of them is my Ruger LCR, and it's a 38 special. I think I would be a little bit happier if it was a 9mm, so it wouldn't kick so much.
And if you want something that doesn't kick, then grab a 22.
Yeah.
I want it to do damage still, like some good amount of damage. I want my 9mm.
Well,
I'm not trying to go full pussy and go 22.
you know, the plus side to a small caliber like a 22, though, say you have to shoot something or someone, it hits a rib, it bounces around and then does way more damage than that blow through on a 9mm will do.
And they're way cheaper, so if you have to fire more shells, it's more efficient.
Yeah, it goes ping, 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 and no kick at all, so you're guaranteed to hit the target a bunch of times.
And magazine capacity on a 22.
Yeah.
True.
You get ridiculous.
And if you miss, you don't have a lot of holes to patch.
True.
You might have to replace your gallon of milk in the fridge.
Right?
I don't know
Not
that
the
it'll
whole
make it through the
fridge.
fridge
I don't
door.
think it's going through the
I was going to say, I don't think a
fridge
22 is going through the fridge door.
That, and
My
if it
40
does, it's probably
could-
not going through the gallon.
My 40 will go through that fridge door.
Your
40
40
goes
cal's
through
going to
the
go through the
neighborhood.
fridge door?
I'm pretty sure it could go through the fridge door.
9mm going through a fridge door.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
There's some low velocity. That's right, Carrie. I got the show stealer in my lap. She's grabbing on for dear life because she knows.
I mean, I guess if you're looking for something powerful where you can shoot somebody through your neighbor's fridge a block away, you could go with like one of those Smith & Wesson 500s. The fucking hand cannon. It'll probably
That's what
break
Church is
your
talking
wrist
about.
when
He
you
likes his
fucking
he likes
fire.
his 45 Colt.
Nothing says fuck your neighbor's refrigerator like a 300 Win Mag, though.
Yeah. Oh. Well, if we're talking rifles, I do like the 7mm mag. Those things are a fucking monster. They're accurate as shit, too. Then again, the velocity on that bullet is fucking crazy.
I was looking at someone was putting out a 9mm AK.
I
Yeah.
think I saw that.
And it was actually relatively cheap. It was only like $500-600.
I want to say it was Christensen Arms. Might not be, though. I just saw somebody talking about that the other day.
And I was like, yeah, the second they started talking about a 9 mil AK, I was like, wait, what? So you've got a gun that never fails with an ammo that I can get fairly readily
available and decently priced. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I could shoot Tula rounds through that thing
You know,
for hours and it doesn't do anything.
It makes you wonder, though, will it be as reliable as a regular AK since you're changing caliber and that changes your chamber size and everything else?
Yeah.
I mean,
Interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
God knows you can take an AK and fucking dump sand right into the chamber and then dunk it in water and it's still gonna work.
That sounds about right, Batch.
Interesting.
Like that's why you don't aim for the head with a 22, unless you're like sharpshooting someone's eye.
Right.
You better be a hell of a shot.
Yeah, like that's you're aiming for abdomen and center mass and hoping for the best with a 22. Hope it hurts them enough that the first time that they're just like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, Batch, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Although, I think I'm just going to be quite honest, I think the next thing I'm going to buy is going to be a cheap shotgun because I found a fucking awesome what turns it into a bullpup kit.
Ooh, really?
You can buy it's a Remington 870 12 gauge and they've got a kit that turns it into a bullpup. It's fucking awesome.
Interesting. That could be fun as shit to play with.
And they look sweet as shit. And you can get an 870 for fucking dirt cheap.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You could find an 870 around.
Not to mention the 870s. They're a well built gun, but they're cheap because they're mass produced.
Yeah, because they make a ton of them. Yeah, because you can customize the shit out of them. Interesting. That could be fun as fuck to turn a fucking 870 into a bullpup.
Good luck, Batch.
Interesting.
I mean, coming by any ammo that isn't like 9mm or just the odd, like, carton of like 20 rounds of 40, like, good luck these days.
Church, you're right, but for me, it's just for the fun of it. I don't give a shit if the trigger's horrible on it if it's fun.
Right? Yeah, it's gonna be a toy more than a fucking practice.
Yeah, it's not something I'm gonna tactically use in my house.
It's for spraying watermelons in the field with, not for, actual tactical hunting and shit.
Yeah.
It almost makes me wonder what kind of modifications you could do to the assault guns, the assault shotguns. Turn an assault shotgun into a bolt.
You'd have to look, because the kit I saw was specific to the 870s. And I think the 870 Expresses, too. Well, what I do need to do is I need to order a new magazine. I have an old 16 gauge bolt action shotgun that I need to order a magazine for and find out where I can buy some munitions for it. Because you can't just walk into Gander Mountain and buy 16 gauge or Cabela's because it's not a normally manufactured fucking round anymore.
You could try your luck. I mean, there's always good old Bud's skin shop.
That's true.
Bud's probably has some for you. Hopefully it's in stock.
I just want to shoot it because it was my grandfather's old bird gun from when he was a teenager. So it's like 70 years old at this point.
Batch says they stopped manufacturing that about 5 years ago. So you may actually wind up just buying shells and having to reload yourself.
Yeah.
There you go. Toonie's got you. Toonie's got your Batch.
There you go.
Church. It was fun for a couple hours and then.
Nice. That would be a cool little kit to play with too.
It gives you something.
As long as you know what you're getting into and you know the limitations of what you can do with it.
Yep.
You're not trying to be fucking James Bond with it. You could have some fun with those fucking things and still be semi-practical with them.
And hell, even if you're just wanting to have some cheap thrills, you can buy a cheap 12 gauge and then buy some fun rounds. Like they make those
Right.
Dragon's Breath rounds that start fires,
Well, that
bolo
I was just
rounds.
gonna say, there is some company that I was watching a video for the other day that's starting to make legal flechette rounds in 12 gauge because the flechette is biodegradable. That was their loophole.
Oh Jesus!
I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? They're making vegan-friendly flechettes for 12 gauge shotguns now." The fucking world we live in, man.
You know, sometimes that's all you need is that
That's
little.
why I was like, creativity really is the mother of necessity. It will get you there.
Eh, but it's good for Mother Earth. Okay, you're in.
Right? Yeah, the shits will all break down. It's biodegradable. You don't have to worry about it. Oh, okay, we'll give him the patent.
There's plenty interesting ways to have fun, even on the cheap, when it comes to weapons. You don't have to spend a lot to have fun with them. Although, don't get me wrong, there are some really nice ones out there that I would love to have the money to throw at, but I can't. It's like got a friend of mine. He collects World War II and prior weapons. So he's got like old M1 Grands and stuff like that are in firing order, so they can still fire. And he takes them out to the range every once in a while and lights a couple off. It's fucking amazing. Although the fucking M1 Grand, that's a heavy fucking weapon. I couldn't imagine carrying that thing into battle. That would have fucking killed me.
One of the first full long rifles that I ever got to shoot was a friend of mine's fucking working M1 Grand, and that's exactly what I thought. Like, how the fuck do these guys carry these things? Like, it's a pain in the dick just to fucking shoot a couple rounds from a standing position. These guys carry these fucking things for a living, man.
Call those guys the fucking greatest generation for no reason.
Yeah, you had to be a bad motherfucker just to carry that bitch.
There's some really cool ones out there. I've been looking at Henry rifles too lately. But those are like, they're showpieces though to me. Like, because they're so beautifully done. I mean, yeah, they're great and accurate, but they're so fucking beautiful. I just couldn't see shooting them. They'd be sitting on a mantle somewhere.
Yeah. Those are exactly what those are. You buy that rifle to hang it on a fucking wall somewhere, not to take it out and shoot it.
Unless you have a butt ton of money and whatever, but that's a whole different moniker. Although
Henry gives it to your fucking 4-year-old son with all the gold ornament on it. God damn it!
It was a beautiful rifle, though.
Guns before you can walk. That is a beautiful fucking rifle, though.
They make bird shot out of Pepto-Bismol? What?
Interesting.
What?
That could be.
Who makes that round? I need to look into that.
That would be an interesting aspect to look into for your own reloading, too. What exactly you could make your own shot out of that would hold together in a shell like that?
I guess. Shit that stuff will do to your stomach. I'm sure it'll do something to somebody else's stomach, too.
Well, that, if you've ever peeled a chunk of rock salt out of the fucking back of you from running through a fucking field that you shouldn't have been in, you could probably imagine how weird that would be if that rock salt was Pepto-fucking-Bismol, too.
Oh, at least at the end of the day, you're not going to have bubble guts.
That's true. You're going to look like you had chicken pox, though, with all the pink dots.
Ooh, Quigley. That's another nice fucking firearm company right there. There's a whole mess of them out there. Like, you can go, even there's some of the smaller companies that make their own armaments are just fucking amazing. I thought about doing the build it piece by piece kits too, but then I was like, yeah, those are kind of on that fringe of legalness, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with any of that because God forbid something ever come up and go, oh well, yeah, I've got a firearm, but it's not really registered because it's in 70 different pieces.
Right.
I guess that would make sense that it's called bismuth, being as that's what Pepto-Bismol is.
70 parts. That's almost an NFL team.
Prior to the final cut.
See all those rookies go away.
Larry, do you have a gun?
Nope.
What sort of firearm would you be looking for, Larry, if you were into it? I mean, I obviously a little blaster pistol.
Or are you interested in owning a gun?
Yeah, are you interested in owning a gun at all?
I haven't shot in years, to be honest.
It's still as fun as you remember.
Probably a handgun. Probably 9mm.
We're narrowing it down. It's still a pretty wide field you've given us.
I know.
today,
I know.
but-
Well, when you come to visit, I have a couple nines you could shoot.
You can go with a Colt. I mean, Colt
Yeah, you
solid.
do Colt 911 or 1911. You could do. I mean, all the modern polymer 9mm are pretty. They're all pretty darn good guns.
Yeah, Beretta.
Quite frankly. I mean, Glock started something. There's companies perfecting it out there. Like Walther Sig makes some pretty nice stuff.
Smith
I
and
have a SIG,
Wesson.
so you could try a SIG. You could try the Walter. You could try my Beretta.
H&K makes some really nice stuff.
Yeah, they do. And those are ambi too. I forgot you're a lefty. H&K,
Yeah.
there you go.
Walther's also ambi.
Fucking Southpaws.
Kimber does have some nice 9mm for really reasonable prices. Same thing with Taurus. That's the one that got me this weekend. They had the Taurus G3 in stock. I was like, all right, it's coming home.
Just something about a Taurus Judge that just always makes me giggle when you can rotate the fucking the shells and the fucking rounds in the same fucking chamber cycle.
Yeah.
Just something nice about that.
But yeah, I mean, there's like the nice like the Taurus G3. I got it for $221, and it's basically the Glock 19 perfected. And I'm not a big Glock guy, but for that price, sure, you can come home. You can come home and sit on the shelf. Go out. We can go out and play every once in a while.
Yeah, that'll mess with your wrists if you already got wrist problems, Edward. 44 mag, that'll definitely do the trick.
That will. Yeah, trying to brace for that freaking thing.
Get myself. I think I want to get myself another lever action 30-30.
Hippie, you were saying you had the G2C, right? Or did you get the G2S? Or the G2 Millennium? I think Hippie was telling me he had the G2C though. You get the G2. Freaking Buds. Buds had the G2C for all of about 2 days, and it was for like 176 for a nice subcompact pistol. Really nice subcompact pistol, actually. PT11 G2C or PT111 G2C. Okay, I got you. I know what you're talking about.
There's a fucking beauties out there. My son keeps asking me, Dad, can I get a gun? No, you can't. You're 4. Shut the fuck up, dude.
It's old enough for a 22.
Yeah, he's got a couple
Paintball
more
gun.
years. No, the first thing he's getting is he'll get a BB gun probably next year.
Get him an airsoft gun, you can start customizing that shit.
I mean,
I don't want him getting into that habit yet because
I was
that
gonna
gets
say, me and
really
TJ were
extensively expensive when you get into the bigger caliber weapons.
me and TJ were like 25 and 27 respectively, and we probably shouldn't have had airsoft guns.
Yeah, no. Those were a
the
terrible
things we were
fucking
up to.
idea. Although,
I remember it was those twin brothers.
yeah, it was,
Twin brothers came home with airsoft guns and started pegging people, and then we all went and got airsoft guns.
yep, Dave and Derek.
Dave and Derek, yep. I ran into Derek. He was up at Fort Lewis.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was up there for doing some training, and I was like, dude, what are you doing here? He's like, yeah, my guard unit's up here, man. I was like, you want to go get a beer? He's like, nah, quit drinking. Like, good job, man.
Fuck. It's crazy. Those two. Yeah, then that introduced itself into the Fresh and TJ's quit smoking program, and
Yep.
it also introduced me into don't try to do dumb shit while you're drinking with those.
Oh man.
Although I did shoot a cigarette out of somebody's mouth one night while I was drunk with one of those. Don't know how I did it. But I was like, here, let me try to shoot this out of your mouth. Turn sideways. There it goes. Poof. Shot the cherry right
think
off
that
that
was Mock.
motherfucker.
I think you shot it out of Mock's mouth.
Yeah. I don't remember. I was fucking wasted.
Mock was just like, sure, I don't give a fuck.
Wonder whatever happened
Pretty much
to him.
about everything, but that particular moment, he was not giving a fuck about you shooting something out of his mouth.
Wonder whatever happened to that dude. He was
Oh,
wild.
you know perfectly well what happened to that dude.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He's homeless, living off the economy down in New Orleans. Guarantee it.
Oh yeah, fucking guaranteed. He had that kind of mindset about him.
Yeah, he was bound and determined to do it. Yeah.
Oh,
Fair.
balls.
BB gun's a safe choice. That way he can shoot shit in the backyard. Just don't shoot the wildlife, dude, because I don't want to have to explain that one to the neighbors.
You know,
Although I would recommend going the route of the Christmas Story, or not going the route of the Christmas Story rather, and getting him one of the old school multi pumps instead of the easy Daisy fucking Red Rider single lever action. You'll shoot your eye out model. Make him work it. He wants to shoot
more
stronger.
thorough shots.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want a stronger one? Pump that son of a bitch.
exactly. Make him earn that fucking strength to be able to shoot stronger.
Yep.
Help build the up a little bit.
Start with pop cans. Go from there. When you can hit a pop can regularly, then we'll talk about the next step up.
That's right.
That's how I learned was in backyard in town with a fucking BB gun at like 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah.
And then it was 410, 12 gauge, 30-30, 30-06. Yeah. There's a whole... Then it just carried on from there, and then military got a hold of me, and I got to shoot all kinds of things that I thought I would have never got to shoot. Especially being as I got lucky to be in a field unit once. So, oh, we have range detail? I'm not a medic, but I'll go.
Doc, you want to fire this? Damn right I want to fire it.
Put me in, coach.
Take me in. It's not zeroed. I remember the dude
I don't give a shit.
going out with the forward scouts, the fisters. I still laugh about them calling themselves the fisters, but yeah, them going out and covering a range with them or going out to the field with them. It's not zeroed for you, Doc. That's fine.
Little hitter
Fuck,
batch.
you know I'm just gonna unleash ammo, right? That's what we want. That's why I asked you. I got ammo to burn, man.
Yep. And I was like, they're like, oh, you're gonna hand me a saw. You're gonna let me put some rounds downrange on that 50 cal that's mounted up there. Okay, let's do it.
Any good with a grenade launcher, Doc?
Let's find out.
Yep.
I did.
I just remembered his name, Sergeant First Class Noga.
Remember,
And he would every morning. We had a little store inside the barracks that you had to man if you were on CQ. Every morning he'd come down. He's like, "Give me my coffee, Doc." Every morning, come down in this giant mug, and you would pour like a freaking like a carafe and a half into the damn thing. He's like, "That's one coffee." Puts down like a buck and walks out. He was awesome though. That dude was awesome. I loved any time we got to go out to the field because you used to be sitting in the back. You'd be sitting in the back of like the little APCs that they would run around in. You're just sitting there, and he's like, "Hey Doc, move your feet." And he opens up the floorboard and like pulls out a beer. Like, Better not say a fucking thing.
Oh, that sounds all too familiar.
That dude was awesome. Later, batch.
I remember when we were I forget what unit I was in, but I remember going and pulling range detail where we got to do. They're like, "Hey, you guys want to shoot the Mark 19?" I'm like, "Belt-fed grenade launcher? Yes, please."
Yes.
Do cats shit?
I'm like,
And thank you.
I was like, "All right, dude."
We set. I don't know how many ranges we set on fire with the Mark 19. It was fucking awesome.
It was always fucking good time. That's probably by far my favorite. Just listening to it go thump 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 thump,
Yeah.
and you see poof 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 poof. I'm like, yes. Like I'll
Doc,
never.
you better, hey Doc, you better get out there and help those guys put that fucking fire out. All right. Out there with a shovel,
Fucking
beat on
beat.
fire.
Oh, good
We'll fucking
times.
equal, just setting sides of mountains in Korea on fire.
What's happening, Adam? Welcome.
Wow, there's a name that a lot of people won't even recognize at all. Fucking Western Auto.
I don't even know if you guys can hear me.
It always takes a minute for his internet to warm up.
Right now.
There he goes. Nope.
Nope, he's Rosen again.
Or he's taking a really long pull off that.
Get it? Let's see that huge cloud.
Suck it. Suck it.
No clouds.
That's Sapporo.
Oh,
You guys see?
Sakura came back. Obviously, you were in her pocket.
We asked her.
What happened? Am I audible? Is this
Yes.
working?
You're audible again. You weren't for a second.
Yeah, I fell asleep. I wasn't feeling so hot. Sorry about that.
No worries. If you don't feel good, you don't feel good, man. You don't have to show up if you don't feel good. We understand that.
I refuse not to show up.
Sakura, I did not say you weren't listening.
Oh, yeah,
Don't you be
okay.
trying to twist words over here.
We've been talking about handguns, Adam. And,
Right.
well,
Oh.
every gun on the planet at this point.
Show.
And I've been slowly trying to like hide myself back under my blanket because it's fucking getting cold for no reason.
I mean, to be fair, it's not no reason. There's perfectly good reason for it to start getting cold because it's almost foosball season.
It's true.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Dipwad.
ironically enough, selecting your first handgun is a lot like making a selection in the 2020 NFL draft.
I'll show you
What?
making a fucking
Cruise all your
selection.
options. Make sure the numbers make sense for you.
Yeah.
I'll show
Make sure
you
make
making
sure you're comfortable with the feel of it in your hand.
suck
Right,
my motherfucking dick, bitch.
That's
Got
worse
no
than
liquor. I got no treats. I don't want to hear it.
I was gonna say, Golf T, what do you think about old Denzel Mims? You guys are getting him mocked, you guys, quite a bit.
Eh. It's gonna. I can't. I want to, but I keep losing focus every time this happens.
Is it that easy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Today, yes, it has.
Slowly but surely, we've turned every topic into the NFL draft at this point. Adam, Lumi brings something up she's excited about. We talk about it for about 10 minutes, and then we skew it over to the draft.
Gives us something to do tomorrow. What time does that start? It starts at 5, right? Central time?
6.
6 Central?
I think it's
8 p.m. here in Ohio.
so 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Pacific, so that'd be
7 p.m. here.
7 your time.
For us, like normal.
You know, the plus side to this is the first
Well,
round will
they
be
also
over.
don't make a pick for like the first fucking hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you
then
don't have to worry about it. They turn something that should take like an hour and a half into a 3-hour show.
I don't know how they're going to be able to pull that off this year without there being everything in studio.
They'll run it around all the different.
Yeah, I actually think it's going to be longer this year than it generally would be, just because some of the households they're going to be calling into are not necessarily the most Zoom friendly
Mm-hmm.
or technologically savvy, I guess would
Yeah.
be a poor phrasing.
Oh, I'm sure they've already had all these guys getting their shit squared away already. Now,
No, he's
whether
talking about
it's
some of the players.
no,
Some
that's
of the players that you're calling into.
Yeah, because you're going to have to call into some houses who, even if you prepare for it in the moment.
I don't even know much about foosball, but those motherfuckers have people on their staff doing that shit for them. Like, hey, get me in here.
That's the thing. That's the thing about the draft, Lumi, is that these
the
are people
college
coming
game.
out of college. They don't have a staff yet.
Well, that, and during the Backstreet Boys epidemic, the people who would normally be readily available on a staff to do things like that have most likely already been laid off.
All right, then we're going to go back to the fact that these guys are just getting off of college. They should be pretty fucking tech savvy. They probably had a phone in their hand when they were fucking 4.
How many college athletes have you known?
None, because I don't like fucking sports.
I do the sports. I play them good.
I mean, there's a couple guys that if they interview them tomorrow, that might come out.
There legitimately might be some derps in the
because they don't have like an agent or a handler that can go and hang out at the house with them. So
or they're gonna be like, butter toast, Daddy, butter toast.
Right. That, and I'm legitimately curious how many little brothers and sisters we're going to see running, screaming through the scene while they're trying to talk to the team.
Like they're on their Zoom, and you see the little brother come by and just swat the fucking phone out of their hand.
Or you hear,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here! I'm trying to talk to somebody. It's important.
right?
You're probably fairly close, Happy Hippie. I think a lot of the picks are probably well known at this point around, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. But I mean, it's not like you can't get Mel Kiper on a fucking Zoom meeting and have him and Adam Schefter just run their fucking mouths for an hour, which is generally what happens for the first hour.
Yeah.
Well, who do you think's going to be the number 1 pick? Well, we got Joe Burrow out of LSU. There was an off chance they might take Chase Young. No, they're fucking isn't.
Right. Well, and anybody that's watched the news lately, like I'd say, especially in the last week or two, like the major media news has learned that no matter how many times you do a thing and get comfortable with it, sometimes when you're doing it live, you don't have control over 100% of the technical gremlins that exist in the world.
Yeah.
It is funny to watch that stuff happen now where people go, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, there's a reason that like professional news studios and shit have redundancy in fucking spades, whereas most people broadcasting from home like this don't.
You know, last year I didn't have ESPN, and I watched Bleacher Report's broadcast of the draft. I fucking loved it. Like it was on the internet, but it was people who do internet regularly,
Right.
And they were squared away. They had pictures they had a dude running the studio for them, throwing pictures and stats up, and it was actually just a really well put together broadcast. The guys weren't irritating like Mel Kiper can get.
Well, that goes a long way right there.
Yeah, so I might actually do that. I have ESPN this year. I could watch the draft. I may just pop over to Bleacher Report, and if they're doing the same thing they did last year, I'll just fucking stay there. Because they did a really good job, and they did all 7 rounds, and like legitimately talked about every player that got drafted.
Good on them for having the fucking full lineup ready to go like that. That's not easy to do.
No. Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. So I would probably check the Bleacher Report app, and if it's not streaming there for free, I'll go over to YouTube and see if it's streaming free there.
Oh yeah, some place is gonna have it.
Yeah, someplace will have it. But I mean, worst comes to worst, I can go watch Schefter.
Or we could all get some Lumi stands. Lumi stands. Party time. Excellent.
Careful, I think that's the part where you have to warn people that they may experience seizures when things start shaking like that.
Trigger
Not
warning.
me.
Trigger warning.
You just got bunches of them, don't you?
Yeah, this Backstreet Boys is not helping anything.
Yeah. What's up, Mimi? Oh, Happy Hippie is interested in a football Lumi stand.
Oh.
I
Ooh.
can fucking do it.
Shaped like the Super Bowl trophy.
I might charge a little bit extra for it, but I could do that.
Just because it's foosball? That's sportsist. Lumi. Sportsist.
I draw no lines.
You don't just because you don't like a thing doesn't mean other people can't like it.
I draw no lines for show 3.
That's fantastic. Fuck. Well, it is that time of the evening, so we are gonna roll her around the room and
Like really quick.
get the geese and get the flock out of here. Well, it does go really quick when you're having a good time and laughing and figuring out how to twist things into football.
That's pretty much as soon as the topic started, my brain, I'm like, how can I turn this back to the draft? We got to talking about about getting Larry a handgun. It's like, you know what? It's like making that first pick.
Yeah. I guess in that case, since we are doing so much talking of the foosball, we should take it over to our top-notch foosball correspondent, Lumi.
Hi everybody, I'm Lumi. I hate foosball unless you give me food, money, or liquor. In which case, I'll be all for it. If you want to buy a stand, braids. I'm not doing the soap yet. I don't think I should do soap. I don't think I should sell soap. If you're desperate enough, I guess I'll make you some soap. Yeah, you can message me on Facebook or Instagram or Discord. Go there and see all the fun stuff that I do. And if you want to go over to Twitch, you can watch me playing video games, yelling at people who are talking about foosball. Do it.
Yelling at me for random dumb shit.
Yell at Larry for stupid dumb shit. You can find me at all of these places. I'll give you the link here. Boom. Boom. You can subscribe to. It's always super helpful and awesome when a Twitch affiliate or partner gets a subscription. It's pretty nice. And I'll pass it to Larry.
Oh, hope everybody's doing well, staying kind of sane, I guess. You can find me at ELR and Instagram at those links, and you can usually find me on Lumi stream causing shenanigans, yelling at her, yelling at the other players. That's about it. We'll pass it over to Fresh.
What's happening, everybody? Remember, tomorrow night is the NFL draft. We should be doing. I mean, I know Joe is going to go on. We may wind up talking about football. I don't know. I don't know what Meter has planned. It was a very uneventful week in MMA news. All I saw was one more event get canceled. So I don't know. I wasn't paying close enough attention.
There's still one man whose dick is so big it will not be sheathed.
That's true.
Still coming to flop it around this weekend, so we
That's
still
right.
got something to talk about.
We do have Uncle Chael.
Damn right.
But yeah, we'll be live for the I'm No Joe podcast tomorrow after the NFL draft. After the NFL draft, I'm assuming. Because Meter's team picks last.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'd be able to lure him in.
The Chiefs stand alone.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be watching the draft, talking punchy kickies. Friday we got a new Jackbox. A new Jackbox that supposedly has the best of the Jackbox games on it. Well, it supposedly has 2 of the top 3 because the freestyle game that we did last week, that is pretty obviously the best fucking game ever. But
Rigged.
Sounds like someone who lost.
Oh, she had some mean battle raps though. Lumi did. She did a wonderful job. She just couldn't stand up to the Rinstigator.
No, I was talking about the rigged one against Nick Devine, who was just putting in random answers and didn't even know how to play, and I actually rapped about my coupon code.
Yeah, so Friday we'll be doing a little bit of that, and then we'll probably be doing some football mixing on Saturday, one would imagine, because the draft is going to be on all flippin' day Saturday. All flippin' day, which is awesome. Yeah, come hang out with us if you don't have anything else going on. Punchy Kickies tomorrow. Friday we'll be playing some games, and then Saturday we'll be football mixing. So everybody be beautiful to each other, educate, advocate, be good for this community. See you on that next one. Be like Rye. Wasn't gone yet. The Mandalorian.
He passed it to you.
Oh, he already went?
The Emperor didn't go yet.
Then it's got to be the Algorithm of South Chicago.
Robo Pilarpatine.
I'm Adam. Before I become a robot again, yeah, thanks for having me. And yeah, that's about it. Meter can probably draw some links for me.
So what he's trying to say, because he's a robot, is that you guys should join the group in that link right there. And then after you're done joining the group, then you can go to either one of these links and you can support Adam via his music and Eddie and the Arsons, the new album right there, or any of their other music on eddieandthearsons.com.
He's frozen stiff, so I guess that means it's my turn. Thank you, Adamus Prime. Thank you all for coming out and hanging out with us. Glad we got to talk about foosballs and boobs and guns and everything else, just because, anything else that could be turned back into football was pretty funny. I got a good kick out of that today, and I really needed it after this shit week so far, so appreciate you guys coming out. We'll figure out something to do for next week too, and then week after that, and so on until all of this stuff gets listed, and then we'll be back to, same regular shenanigans we're doing right now, just in a different format, I guess. But, remember, educate, oh, fuck, I can't talk. Have another drink. Jesus, fuck me. Educate, advocate, not for yourselves or any of us up here, but for those motherfuckers who are still on the stinkies behind us that have not made the switch yet. We need to keep this alive for them. So please do your part. Just because all of this Backstreet Boys reunion shit is going on doesn't mean we can stop our progress that we're working on now. I got nothing else to say other than I love you guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow on the I'm No Joe podcast, where we talk kicky punchies and probably some football slung in there somewhere, just because it's bound to happen tomorrow, just because what's going on. But I'll send it over to the one, the only, the Meter Vapes, only on this day.
So first and foremost, thank you, TJ, for having a show every Wednesday that panelists like myself and my fellow foosballians here can get together to try and get our brains back to some semblance of normalcy. And thank you to everyone who is watching this, whether you are here in the chat live hanging out with us now or you are catching this on a replay. Thank you guys. You are the reason that we get to do this every week, that we get to hang out and have fun with you fine folks, is because you come out and you support us. So in that spirit, tomorrow night we will also be out, because the Backstreet Boys will not stop us. We are doing the damn thing. Your home for all things punchy kicky and maybe a little foosball. The I'm No Joe podcast will be here tomorrow, because we still, despite the craziness of the world situation we live in right now, have one lone defiant soldier standing resistfully with his dick in the wind, defying the odds of sports entertainment. And we're going to talk about it tomorrow. But tonight, we are here because this wonderful life-saving technology that we all know and love has affected us. And despite the Backstreet Boys trying to take over the world, there are still actively politicians right fucking now trying to sneakily put through legislation to completely ban vaping altogether. Not just flavors, not just locally, not online. There are politicians actively right now trying to sneak legislation through during the pandemic to completely illegalize vaping in the United States. So we cannot stop. We don't have to get out and go to every politician's house day by day and bang on their doors. But if you are here, this technology has done something for you. So it is your job, regardless of if you are essential or not, it is your job to repay this technology by doing something. You don't have to do everything, but you do have to do something because it did something for you. And at this point, there is no other option. If we don't band together, we will be banned together.
Oh, on that note, I have not picked a song yet, so any mini randomizer, here we go. Have a good night, folks. Bye.